Hello, hello. It is Wednesday evening. Is an edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We've got 2 days left in November, believe it or not. And we're going to do a review of some of the November numbers in this video. We'll take a look at the next chances for precipitation across the valley. Especially important if you have plans to come downtown Friday evening for the parade and the tree lighting. And if maybe you're heading to Canton for the Girard State Championship game, Division IV State Championship game on Saturday. If you want to put up your holiday decorations that involve the outdoors this weekend, the weather is all important. And before we get to the forecast, though, I wanted to talk about a little bit of record keeping here. I've been asked a couple of times on Twitter, especially, how close are we to 2018 being the wettest year on record? And I think before the year is through, we're probably going to make it to second place. The wettest year on record in Youngstown was not that long ago. It was back in 2011. Right here, that peak right there. We are right here so far this year. We'll probably get pretty close to 2011, probably short by an inch or two, but I think we probably will make it up to second place. So more than likely, 2 of our wettest years ever have occurred in this decade, and I put together this graphic today to illustrate that it is getting wetter around here when we look back all the way back to the 1930s. Of course, we have some peaks and some valleys, but the trend here is up. When we talk about long-term averages for annual precipitation, some of our wettest years overall have occurred since the late 90s and early 2000s. You notice our valleys like this are not nearly as deep as they used to be. One of the drier years we had recently was back in 2009, I believe this one is. Yeah, 2009. And you notice that's not nearly as low as some of these past lulls in precipitation. So the trend is unmistakable. The weather is getting wetter around here. It's also getting warmer as well. I've talked about this in blog posts and videos before, and we won't get too deep into long-term averages this evening, aside from what I wanted to show you precipitation-wise. When we talk about kind of just the last month, or just November as a whole, it has been a wet one. We're up over 4 inches worth of total precipitation, about 1.13 inches above average. And this is what I did here was I shaded in green where it either rained and or snowed in a calendar day. So the number of days in which it has done nothing as far as precipitation, no rain, no snow, pretty few and far between. Sunday has been our driest day this month. But Thursdays and Saturdays have been particularly unsettled. And yeah, just a handful of days in which no precipitation, not even a trace, was recorded at the airport. As far as snow goes, it looks like our total for November, when all is said and done, with no snow expected over the next couple of days, at least very little, if any, measurable snow, probably around 8 inches, and that's almost 5 inches above average, especially in the second half of the month. Look how many days we've had at least a trace worth of snow at the Youngstown Warren Airport. It's been our snowiest and coldest November since 2014, and yeah, we're going to finish the month way below average temperature-wise. Just a handful of days where the temperature has been above average this month. The cooler-than-average days have outnumbered those warmer-than-average days by quite a bit. All right, our snow shower activity from the lake effect last night and early this morning was a little underwhelming. We didn't register anything of significance across the region. We had an inch or two in some spots. But I wanted to show you, I'm going to pick out a couple of spots here. I want to show you how much more pronounced the lake effect was up in western New York. This is along Interstate 90 south of Buffalo. 2 feet, even close to 3 feet worth of snow in some of these spots in Chautauqua County, New York. So they really got pummeled up there. And they're not done yet. They're still seeing some snow showers downwind of Lakes Erie and Ontario in western New York. Not much more than a flurry here for tonight. I think tomorrow's going to be a better day now. Don't break out the shorts just yet. But it is going to be a less harsh day. We'll get above freezing in the afternoon. The wind chill won't be as much of a factor. And I do think, at least for a time, there can be some intervals of sun right around lunchtime into the afternoon, so that's something to look forward to. Models are trying to pick up on just a touch of snow trying to work in tomorrow evening. I think this is, the bark is a little worse than the bite here probably. This may be a lot of virga, precipitation evaporating before it reaches the ground, but we might have to stick in a real small chance of a touch of snow or flurries towards the end of the day, Thursday. I think our modeling is also underdoing rainfall here Friday morning. Other models, aside from what I'm showing you here, bring this rain that's down here up closer to our area. So I think we are going to get a little bit of rain Friday morning. And with temperatures near freezing as this rain pushes in right around daybreak or just before daybreak, a brief window where there could be some some light freezing rain. I don't think it's real impactful, but something that we may have to keep a close eye on for early in the day on Friday. Much higher chance of impactful wet weather on Saturday, starting right around mid to late morning, and then it's going to turn into a pretty soggy afternoon on Saturday. So Friday evening in downtown Youngstown, we have the holiday parade, the tree lighting ceremony, and I will be joining Caroline Collins, walking alongside the WFMJ car in the parade. We'll be handing out some candy. Look forward to seeing many of you downtown Friday evening. I think it'll be dry. It won't be as cold as it has been recently. Now you're, of course, going to need to bundle up. It'll be in the upper 30s, but thankfully it's not on an evening like this, where wind chills currently are in the mid-teens. All right, over in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that's the site of the Division IV state championship game. The Girard Indians taking on Cincinnati, Wyoming at 8 o'clock Saturday evening. I think there's a pretty decent chance of at least a little rain. I don't think it's anything all that heavy. The heaviest of the rain should have occurred earlier in the day, but a chance of at least a little rain Saturday evening, a gusty breeze. And notice temperatures actually keep rising. Temperatures may actually rise most of Saturday night. That'll pave the way to a milder day on Sunday, but the mild trend is not going to last long. We've got colder air coming in for next week, and a lot of the lower 48 states in a colder than average pattern here in the medium range. This is a look at the December forecast that I put out with the winter forecast almost a month ago. It was right at the beginning of November, and what I advertised was a near average month here locally, cooler than average in New England and warmer than average across the Midwest into the Northern Plains into the Pacific Northwest. That was the original forecast. I'm going to make some adjustments to this on Monday evening on Weather for Weather Geeks and 21 News at 6 and 11. I may not have to make many significant adjustments. Overall, I don't dislike this forecast at this point. I think it's actually in pretty good shape. We are going to start out December with a mild weekend and then a colder pattern for next week, but pretty high confidence in a pattern change towards warmer weather again as we go towards mid-month. So here's the second weekend of the month around the 8th and 9th. Looks pretty cold. But then as we get into the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, notice all those warm anomalies taking over in North America. And this probably lasts a handful of days, if not a week. I don't know if it lasts all the way to Christmas, but from the 12th and 13th, maybe through about the 20th, this looks like a pretty balmy pattern. And so the cold start followed by that balmy week, not sure what happens after that, leads me to believe that our forecast of a near average December temperature-wise may not be in that bad of shape right now. So we'll look at some more information over the next few days and have a full update on the December and winter forecast coming up on Monday evening. Thanks for checking out this evening's Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here tomorrow evening.